The United Nations has described the famine confirmed in Gaza City and surrounding areas as a failure of humanity, sounding a profound moral alarm amid unfolding crisis. Here's a refined, approximately 600-word narrative tailored for a YouTube article, moving seamlessly from one insight to the next, without heading labels. The United Nations has declared that famine in Gaza City and its surrounding regions represents a failure of humanity. These solemn words were delivered against a backdrop of catastrophic food insecurity, where malnutrition and mounting civilian suffering paint a grim picture. The acknowledgement from the world body serves not only as a warning but as a plea for urgent global action. In the arid expanse of Gaza, families increasingly face the crushing weight of hunger, with children among the most vulnerable. Basic sustenance is slipping away, access to food, water, and medicine is severely restricted. The United Nations, by calling this situation a failure of humanity, underscores the stark gap between humanitarian ideals and the lived reality in Gaza. It's a candid reminder that the tools, resources, and collective will to prevent such catastrophes exist, yet remain woefully underutilized. The famine didn't emerge in isolation, it's symptomatic of prolonged conflict, economic strangulation, and barriers that obstruct aid. Humanitarian corridors, intended to bring relief, often fall short. Bureaucratic delays, logistical breakdowns, and security concerns conspire to keep vital supplies out. Against this backdrop, international pleas, though fierce, struggle against the machinery of obstruction. This dire landscape is not merely a matter of statistics, it is deeply human. Parents are forced to make excruciating decisions, rationing dwindling supplies for their children, even as hunger gnaws at their own bodies. Humanitarian workers, constrained by insufficient resources and complicated access, do what they can, but with limited impact. When aid does reach those in need, it may arrive too little or too late. Every stalled shipment, every blocked convoy, every administrative hiccup can mark the difference between life and death on the ground. The phrase, failure of humanity, is not hyperbole, it is a sobering condemnation of global inertia. The world watches as suffering mounts. In a region that has known decades of turmoil, the emergence of famine should ignite an eruption of coordinated response, not passive reportage. Food reserves, water purification, medical supplies, and basic shelter are necessities, yet remain scarce where they are needed most. Beyond aid, the statement from the United Nations demands accountability. It calls upon global leaders, regional powers, and the broader international community to confront structural barriers and to mobilize with unprecedented urgency. Humanitarian pledges must turn into palpable action, corridors opened, resources deployed, and political will harnessed. The path forward is fraught with complexities, yet the moral imperative is undeniable. Combating famine demands not just food or supplies but also cooperation, ceasefires, safe routes, and protection for aid workers. It necessitates transparency and trust. It requires that nations, institutions, and individuals recognize their shared responsibility to preserve human dignity, even amidst the harsh politics of conflict. The stakes are existential. Children shrink before our eyes, families are torn by hunger, and a community teeters on the edge of collapse. The United Nations Declaration is not simply news, it is a moral indictment. It invites us all to consider what it means to be human, and how far we are from living up to that standard when basic survival is obstructed. As the crisis deepens, the urgency intensifies. This moment is not merely one more in a litany of tragedies, it is a call to conscience. If famine in Gaza continues, it won't just be an unpreventable disaster, it will be a reflection of our collective failure to act. The United Nations has spoken. The question now is whether the world will answer. Let me know if you'd like adjustments, perhaps a variation that includes quotes, more detailed background, or a focus on specific humanitarian actors or data.